in Nokomis and 333 West 2nd Street in Pana. Happy tastes good.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM and our morning show, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. The WTIM Pana morning show with Pana civic, business, and nonprofit leaders, coming to you from our Taylorville studios. We're also brought to you by folks like your Pana Save-A-Lot, Pizza Man, Norton's Hardware, Bob Riding's Pana, the Nokomis Dairy Queen, Pana Bowl, and the Okanee Chop Shop. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and our guest in this segment is Scott Dorr. Scott is the superintendent of Nokomis CUSD number 22. Scott, good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Grayson. Pretty good. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing well, and I appreciate you asking. And Scott, I know it's the summer months, but we're going to try and maybe dispel the notion of it's summer vacation, and we're going to look to do so here today. So how so far is wrapping up of the last school year going, and what's that kind of look like on your end in terms of maybe transitioning from said last school year into this newest? How is the summer going so far for you?
Yeah, so both those events kind of run concurrently, correct? We're still planning for next year, but at the same time wrapping up this year. As we run on fiscally, we run on a fiscal year with the state of Illinois. We're trying to get all of our budgeting done, our accounts closed out, get ready for our auditors to come in over the summer and audit our books, finalize grants, submit tons of paperwork and reports to the State Board of Education, start writing new grants for next year. It's a whirlwind of paperwork. So, you know, as I sit in the office to do some of that, I have principals continuing to work through the month of June to make sure all their schedules are ready and students are put in classes and teachers have the correct assignments and getting ready for August 1st to come around when they come back and then we start registration. So a lot of pre-planning, a lot of paperwork that has to fly over the summer in order for us to continue to move forward.
Sure. And when it comes to some of that planning for next year, you mentioned like schedules and getting kids in classrooms registered, things of that nature. Yeah. How much of that falls on like the principal, as you mentioned, and how much of that kind of comes to your desk?
So, all the scheduling is done at the building level. So that's the principal's responsibility. They make sure that the master schedules are done, that students are assigned to classes and teachers accordingly. They get book supplies and school supplies ordered over the summer. So those are all ready to go. They do individual schedules as well as master schedules for their entire buildings. That's their responsibility. My responsibility is more of the paperwork, getting, all the reports submitted to ISB, writing grants, getting contracts ready for the next school year to take place, with our vendors and so on and so forth. So when school does open on August 15th, we have a smooth transition into the new school year. Everything's ready to go. And we start the 2025-26 school year without any hitches.
And for you to be able to do so, that requires you wrapping up the 24-25 school year and making sure that is all squared away. For you, in terms of the month of June, is this one of those times for you where it's like, okay, I know I've got to focus on what has happened, but I also got to focus on what's going to happen? How do you kind of delegate or dictate where that focus lies for you? Because the month of June has got to be, just as you mentioned, kind of a whirlwind of papers.
It is. So luckily the principals still work in June. We kind of talk on a regular basis just to make sure we have all of our ducks in a row. Things are ready to go. If they have issues or questions or problems, we can sit down and solve those together. I have a great administrative team that works together, not only with me, but with each other to mitigate any issues that we may have or we could foresee. And so, it is a little bit of a juggle, but we do it. We've done it for many, many years, and we'll continue to do it, and just kind of prioritize for your day what's going to happen, and hopefully you get those goals reached each and every day.
Well, we're glad you were able to carve out some time for us here today on the morning show. We're speaking with Scott Dorr, Nokomis Schools Superintendent, here on the Pana Morning Show. Well, that's a look at summer, and that's a look at how we are going to get into our next school year for 25-26. And let's talk a little bit about that administration behind you and so that school board that supports you, and some of those teachers and educators as well. What changes are going to be experienced this year in Nokomis?
So we have a lot of changes coming up next school year. We had one new school board member that was elected in April. So Mr. Gillock has taken his seat and was sworn in with the other 3 elected members in early May. So we're off to a great start there. And they meet at their regular monthly meetings. In addition, a long time teacher and administrator in the district, for about 33 years to be exact, Mrs. McDowell will be retiring on June 30th in less than a week. So we have replaced her from our assistant principals, moving up to principalship. So Mrs. DeFevers will take over as junior senior high school principal. And then we hired Mr. Ryan Lytle, who will come in and serve as our assistant principal and athletic director at the junior senior high school. So a lot of good changes happening here. Obviously, Mrs. McDowell has been a source of strength and consistency here at the junior senior high school. Serving as principal for the last 9 years, and before that as a junior high math teacher. So she's going to be missed greatly. With all her hard work and dedication that she gave to the kids here at Nokomis. And we'll be looking at a few new teachers coming into the new school year. We're still in the process of hiring some of those. We did hire a new junior high science teacher a couple weeks ago. And so he's been in, he's super excited, ready to go. And we'll continue to search for a few more teachers that we need. And I think all of our support staff are here to stay, and so that's good news. And so, my goal, as always, is to be fully staffed come August 15th, ready to go and start this education process again for the next school year.
It's great to hear that, it sounds like paraprofessionals and counselors, that is taken care of. But when it comes to replacing somebody with 33 years of experience total, 9 years as principal in this last while, that's a tough shoes to fill on that end. How important is it to you that you were able to hire in-house this time around and just kind of move people up a little bit compared to bringing somebody from outside of the school district into that position?
Absolutely. So, I can remember, going in as a new principal into a building, and there's just a lot of unknowns and what's going on. I think when you hire from within, they already have the foundation of how the school operates, how the district operates. They know the faculty, the staff, obviously their strengths, what's going down, what the curriculum is, how to do all of our scheduling. And so that's a positive on our end, right? Miss DeFevers has that knowledge in the background, as having worked here for the last 2 years as an assistant principal. So I'm confident that transition is going to be smooth. I know Mr. Lytle has already been in the building a couple times. I saw him here today, working on that transition, making sure all those schedules and officials are hired for next year, and learning as he goes, what the student handbook says and how his job is going to impact not only himself, but, all of our students here in the junior, senior high school.
I think
so. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're fine. So I think we're moving in a positive direction. And, as soon as we get some staff hired, hopefully this week or next week, we'll be ready to go and anxious for the students to come back in August.
Well, and August 15th sounds to be the start date for that. We've got a little bit of work still to do, but that's why you are the ones doing it and wrapping that up and taking care of not only this last school year, but getting us ready for our next school year. Well, joining us by phone here today on the WTIM Pana Morning Show is Scott Dorr. He is the superintendent of Nokomis CUSD number 22, and we'll come back around with him and talk more about preparations for next year and what to expect from the Nokomis School District. You're listening to our WTIM Pana Morning Show. It's brought to you by not only People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, but also your Pana Save-A-Lot, Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Riding's Pana, Nokomis Dairy Queen, Pana Bowl, and the Oconee Chop Shop. We'll be back around with more from Scott, superintendent of Nokomis CUSD, in just one moment.
WTIM. Markets now, the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn steady, beans lower, wheat trading lower. July corn up 1 3/4, 4.21. September corn down half a penny, 4.17. December corn 4.33 1/4, down half a penny. July beans down 4, 10.54 3/4. August beans 10.57 1/4, down 4 3/4. November beans 10.39, down 8. July wheat down 13 3/4, 5.39. September wheat down 13 1/2, 5.56. July bean meal down a dime, 2.82.30. July bean oil 51.95, down $1.28. Livestock trade. August feeders 304.22, up $1.42. June live cattle up 97 cents, 223.27. July lean hogs down $1.37, 112.07. Energy market. August crude oil down 3.20, 65.31. And you're listening to the RFD Radio Network.
This is Casey Evans with People's Bank and Trust, where customers have one consumer banker who knows them and provides the right financial services to achieve their financial goals. Your consumer banker is your single source for life's financial needs, from checking to consumer loans, from retirement accounts to mortgage loans, and everything in between. Call me at 888-PBT-1954. Bank with People's Bank and Trust, so you can spend your time living your life, not explaining it. At People's Bank and Trust, we put people first. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, it's Brian Booth, and it's the final days of Buy Like an Employee at Bob Riding's Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Pana. Join us Saturday, June 28th for free snow biz, free food, and great deals. We have Ram trucks with an average savings of over $12,000 off MSRP. We have new Chrysler vans under $40,000, select Jeeps under $30,000. See us online at bobridingspana.com or come see us Saturday, June 28th in Pana. Cars and trucks are like eggs. They're cheaper in the country.
Hey, DQ fans, nothing can make Father's Day more memorable than a DQ cake. Treat Dad, Pops, Pappy, or Papa to one of our delicious Fudge and Crunch cakes, or get a cake in one of our other Blizzard treat flavors like Oreo cookie. Customize your DQ cake with a message that celebrates the big guy and all the wonderful things he does. Trust us, it's a lot more fun than a pair of socks or another wacky tie. Only at participating DQ locations, 100 South Oak in Nokomis and 333 West 2nd Street in Pana. Happy tastes good.
Men, take charge of your health by adopting healthy habits. Incorporate regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and sufficient sleep into your routine. Small changes can lead to significant improvements in your well-being. Consistency is key. Start small and build healthier routines over time. A healthier lifestyle today means a better quality of life tomorrow.
This Men's Health Month message comes from Taylorville Memorial Hospital, building stronger communities through better health.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station. Our WTIM Pana Morning Show with Pana civic, business, and nonprofit leaders coming to you from our Taylorville studios. The WTIM Pana Morning Show, it's brought to you by title sponsor People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, along with Pana Save-A-Lot, Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Riding's Pana, the Nokomis Dairy Queen, Pana Bowl, and the Oconee Chop Shop. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and joining us in this segment, back around is Scott Dorr, superintendent of Nokomis CUSD number 22. We've been talking a lot about preparing for the next school year and also wrapping up of this last school year, and we want to talk about some of those additional changes. Curriculum-wise, you had talked to me in the break and said, for the most part, we're staying pretty much the same, but is there any other updates on curriculum in the Nokomis School District that you could provide?
No, not right now. We are... Our curriculum is pretty solid. I'm pretty happy with it. So we're not going to see a lot of changes. Obviously, as we work with the SCI Center over in Litchfield, our career center, we might see some new coursework come in, maybe for the next school year. We're working on that. But we have some obviously some very strong teachers in our district and offer a wide variety of dual credit classes at the high school. As we kind of talked, I think last month, we actually had 2 students in our senior class this year that earned their associate's degree at the same time they earned their high school diploma. And that's through the efforts and the work that we do, not only here, but with our partners at Lincoln Land, to ensure that our kids have dual credit options here at the high school, as well as, through their programs that they offer in Taylorville.
Yeah.
So, that's a great opportunity for kids to, start looking ahead and saving a ton of money for college.
A lot. And that College Now program through Lincoln Land Community College, having 2 come from Nokomis and graduate not only with that high school degree or diploma, but also an associate's degree it's just unbelievable, not only for the student, but what is offered to them as well. So I think the world of that work being done. You have a program that is near and dear to you. We've talked about it a time or two, but this one is important to always touch on when we can. It's the Education Pathways program. What can you tell us on that front?
So this is an opportunity for kids that have made a decision to become teachers. And obviously, we like to see kids from Nokomis or from our local communities who want to become teachers go off to college, get a degree, and come back to their home school. It's amazing the number of people we have right now in our district that are Nokomis High School graduates and that are also teachers. So this program offers them 4 courses in their education program that they can transfer to basically any state college. So they're getting over 120 observation and field service credit hours, as well as 15 semester hours of free coursework towards their degree in education, whether that be elementary, middle, or secondary. So last year, this past school year, we had 2 graduating seniors. That was the first 2 that started the program with me here at Nokomis. And so they earned their pathway certificate by completing all 4 courses. And I know both of them are going to go to school, become teachers, and do a fabulous job. So next year, right now, because we serve more than just Nokomis schools, we serve all the schools in Montgomery and Macoupin counties, as well as a few other counties. We have almost 60 kids signed up to take those courses next year. So it's super exciting that we're seeing a surge in people wanting to go back into education.
I feel as if I did not know that last part there, that there were other schools and other counties involved in this as well. 60 plus kids coming into the program next year. You mentioned the pathway certificate, the 2 that received it this last year. How does that expedite their process when it comes to going to school, taking that next step?
So it really gets them automatic admission into their education program at their university, because in most universities, you have to have those first couple courses have to be successfully passed. Plus, you have to have so many field service credit hours done or observation hours done before you can get accepted into the School of Education. So this should accelerate them into that program, and therefore they can start taking those 300 and 400 level classes sooner. And then they can concentrate on their content area, whether it be elementary ed or history, math, English, whatever that may be, and feasibly graduate, maybe even a semester early in some cases.
And we're also saving some money again. I think that is
Absolutely.
a nice little note there as well. Well, Scott, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us here today and filling us in on everything going on with the Nokomis School District.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good to me. Scott Dorr, Superintendent of Nokomis CUSD number 22 here on the WTIM Pana Morning Show, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, Pana Save-A-Lot, Pizza Man, Norton's Hardware, Bob Ridings Pana, Nokomis Dairy Queen, Pana Bowl, and the Okanee Chop Shop. More to come tomorrow on WTIM.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.5 FM Shelbyville. 107.9 FM Pana Nokomis.
I'm Rich Thomason.